Live streaming on YouTube is a great way to connect with your audience in real time. Whether you're streaming an event, teaching a class, playing video games, performing for your fans, or hosting a Q&A, YouTube has all of the tools that will help you manage your stream and engage with your community in real time with live chat. There are 3 ways you can live stream on YouTube: with a mobile device, a webcam, or with an encoder. Webcam and mobile are great options for beginners and allow you to go live quickly without much setup, while encoder streaming is ideal for more advanced and customized live streams. Here's a quick overview of each one. Mobile streaming. You can stream from the YouTube app with a mobile device. To live stream on mobile, you'll need at least 1,000 subscribers and a phone or tablet with a camera. This is a great option if you're looking to be flexible with where you stream and capture moments or events on the go. Webcam streaming. Anyone with a YouTube channel can easily live stream using webcam and your computer. Streaming this way doesn't require extra software, and since most computers have built-in cameras, this option requires no extra equipment. Webcam streaming is great for hosting live Q&As with your fans or just hanging out with them. Encoder streaming. Encoders allow you to capture content, including your desktop, camera, microphone, and more, and send it out to YouTube Live to be streamed to your audience. This type of stream is commonly used for gaming, sporting events, concerts, or conferences. So this is a good option if you want to live stream gameplay, overlays, or use special hardware like preamps, mics, and cameras. Hopefully this overview helps you choose the best option for yourself, depending on the type of content you want to stream. With any of these options, make sure to plan ahead and test out your sound and visuals beforehand with an unlisted or private stream. This will also help you feel more comfortable with the look and sound of your stream. And once you're ready, be sure to let your audience know when you plan on going live. And of course, keep in mind that all of the content you stream must adhere to YouTube's community guidelines and terms of service. Now, if it's your very first time streaming, there are some things you'll need to do before you can start. First is you'll need to verify your channel. Before you can stream, make sure you verify at youtube.com/verify if you haven't already. Note that this verification is different than the verification badges you might see on some channels across YouTube, and it just requires a simple telephone number verification. Then you'll need to enable your channel for live streaming. To do this, go to youtube.com while signed in. In the top right corner, click the Create icon and then click Go Live. And if it is your first time going live, you'll see a prompt saying that YouTube is verifying your account for live streaming access. This process can take up to 24 hours, so once again, make sure you're planning ahead. And once the 24 hours have passed, you'll become enabled to start live streaming. Once you're all set up, you can choose how you want to go live on YouTube. For deep dive information on the 3 different streaming options and more videos on how to create and manage live streams, watch this playlist. And check out the Help Center articles linked in the
Question, do you know what this is? This is called the Online Business Launch Map, and it's the one paid strategy that we use to sell courses, coaching, consulting each and every day like clockwork.
It's been over 3 years since I last took you guys on a tour of my studio. Since then, not only have I moved house and into a new space, but basically every piece of tech that I use daily has changed too. In this video, we'll be covering my desk and everything on it, which I use daily in my full-time job as a content creator, streamer, and podcaster. And we'll also be going through everything else in my studio, including all the gear that I'm using for my YouTube filming setup that you're looking at right now. I'm gonna do my absolute best to link every single product and thing that I talk about down in the description below this video. So if you want to check out any of the gear that I'm using, starting with the desk, this is the FlexiSpot dual motor height adjustable desk. And the surface on top is the IKEA Colby worktop in walnut finish. I think the width of it is 186 centimeters or 74 inches. The long-term gaming careers viewers will probably recognize this, and this is one of the long-standing pieces of my setup that is still being used today. I've had it for over 3 years. There's no signs of bowing at all in the worktop. I'm really, really happy with it. The finish still looks great. So yeah, good enough for me. So sitting on the right hand side of my desk is my main PC, which is built around an i9 9900K and an RTX 3080 Founders Edition. There's some other goodies in there like an Elgato Camlink Pro, which has 4 different HDMI inputs. That's obviously a recent capture card that they've released, and this is all built into an NZXT H500 case. I do also have a streaming PC down here on the floor, which is built around the Ryzen 5 3600X and a 2080 Ti Founders Edition. Absolute overkill for a graphics card, but it was the last graphics card that I owned. This second PC doesn't really get as much use, but it's useful for me to have a dual PC setup for any tests of capture cards or audio interfaces that I do for reviews. And sometimes I use it for streaming, although lately really the main streams that I've been doing is the podcast. And since we're just capturing a couple of cameras and some browser windows, I can do that all from a single PC. I use 2 monitors for this setup, the main one being the Alienware AW2721D, which is a 1440p monitor with an IPS panel and a refresh rate of 240 Hz. So it's the perfect all-rounder for me. It's got big real estate for day-to-day use. The IPS panel is great for color accurate work in video and thumbnail creation, and then it's got that 240 Hz very high refresh rate for gaming. The second monitor is nothing fancy. It's a Dell P2720D. It's just another 27-inch IPS 1440p monitor. This one running at just 60 Hz because obviously I'm not doing any gaming on it, and I have mounted this in the portrait orientation. Both of these monitors are mounted to some Envision monitor arms just through the VESA mounts. These are actually different to the models that I had in my setup 3 years ago, although they're from the same company. These ones support a little bit more weight, as these new monitors are a little bit heavier. I think they support up to 12 kilograms, which is a bit overkill, but I needed to support a bit more weight for these heavier monitors to still be able to move them around. For lights, in terms of actually lighting myself when creating content, I use 2 of Elgato's key lights, and around the back of my desk to be able to create all of that color that I use in the background of my A-roll shots, I have 2 Elgato light strips actually stuck to the back of the desk, and then 5 Philips Hue Play light bars, which I use, and they're sort of mounted either to the desk or to the backs of my monitors, which sort of gives this huge spill of color that I can control and create gradients that I use in my A-roll set. All of these lights can be controlled from my Stream Decks. Currently on my setup I have 2, the Stream Deck XL and the new Stream Deck Mark II, and pretty much every task that I'm doing day to day as a content creator in Discord. The speakers on my desk are the Logitech G560. In terms of peripherals, the mouse that I'm using is the Logitech G Pro Wireless. This isn't the new super light version that I would like to try at some point, but a lot of money on. As you can see, I've got a few different audio interfaces plugged into by default. This little box here plugs into the back of my Go XLR, and it is for my headset, my wireless headset, which is hanging down here below the desk. It is the SteelSeries Arctis Pro Wireless, which is, yes, very expensive, but super comfortable even for people with glasses like me, and especially if you're going to be wearing them for long periods of time through the day. It's got a really smart swappable battery system, so you're never left without battery. I currently have two cameras mounted on my desk, both of which are plugged into the Elgato Cam Link Pro. My main one is a Sony a6400 with a Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens, and this is mounted to Elgato's new mic arm, which allows me to really easily reposition this and even bring it over the top of my monitor if I want to do some top-down shots of my desk. The second camera is the always recommended Sony a5100 with its stock lens, which is 18 to 55mm, I think f3.5 to 5.6 if I remember rightly. This gives a different look to the wide 16mm shot of the a6400, and I currently have this mounted in a vertical fashion just because I want to make it really quick and easy for me to create YouTube shorts or Instagram reels, so having a permanently mounted vertical camera should help minimize the task. The a5100 is mounted to Elgato's Master Mount S, so it can't really move around too much other than just sort of rotating it, but it keeps it in the exact same place. And both cameras are powered by some dummy batteries that I found on Amazon and have worked flawlessly, and they both output through micro HDMI to HDMI and into that Elgato Cam Link Pro that I talked about on my main PC. In terms of microphones, I'm always testing new microphones that get sent my way. So this isn't a permanent fixture by any means, but the one that I've been pretty consistently using on the podcast and in any videos has been the Shure SM7B. And this is currently mounted on the Blue Compass mic arm. But as I mentioned in a previous video, I'm currently doing a bit of a test of loads of different mic arms. So I'm trying to get about 2 weeks worth of use with each of the different mic arms. So again, this isn't a permanent fixture. Around the back here, I also have a cloud lifter plugged in. This is just if I ever need it for certain microphones or certain interfaces. It's useful to test. I don't have it plugged in every day as the Go XLR, which I'm using, can power additional boosting. Mounted behind and around my desk is some acoustic treatment, which I've talked about before. This is from a company called GIC Acoustics, and these panels in particular are the 242 panels. I have 6 of them dotted around my room. Yes, they're incredibly expensive, and I know that you can probably build them for a lot cheaper, but if you watch my comparison video of cheap versus expensive acoustic treatment, you'll know just how good these are. The chair that I'm sat in for probably too many hours per day is the Noble Chairs Hero Black. I've had this chair for about 2.5 years now and haven't really had any major issues. There's a bit of wear and tear on the armrests, but other than that, I've been relatively happy. I do want to try the Herman Miller Logitech collaboration.
This is a story about a magical place where everything's...
So that's pretty much it for the desk setup, but the studio has a few more things to talk about. Microphones, webcams, nicely organized. So in some drawers I'll have USB microphones, XLR microphones, webcams. I've got my Edelkrone slider kit and anything for the camera down here. I've also got this drawer up top for NDA items, things that I can't talk about or show on screen, as I've had to blur out far too many boxes in my time as a YouTuber when I've filmed and not realized that something was in shot. These little bins up top are stuff full of different types and different lengths of cables that I'm often needing to grab. And I've also got 2 bins here for chargers and for all the different batteries that I'm using. And batteries only go in here once they are fully charged to make sure that I'm never left without a charged battery. Next, we have my YouTube sort of film studio. I've mounted some little RGB lights inside. It's not particularly well done, but from the camera Feed magazine about the technology and the difficulty of actually running that marathon with a camera mounted.